Any moment now, prosecutors expected to respond to several motions calling for Judge Earl Glanville to be kicked off the YSL trial. Rapper Young Thug's attorney is also calling on two top prosecutors in the case to be removed. Atlanta News First, Rachel Aragon. She's live at 5 outside the Fulton County Courthouse. And Rachel, for now, the historically long trial, it is on hold indefinitely.
Yeah, the 7-month trial continues to be on pause until an entirely new judge can decide whether or not Judge Earl Glanville should stay or be kicked off the YSL case. In the meantime, though, Brian Steele, the lead attorney for rapper Young Thug, he has said time and time again he alleges Judge Glanville favors the prosecution. Other defense attorneys argue that there was an improper meeting. They say that happened sometime last month. They say during that meeting, Judge Glanville oversaw it was between the prosecution and a key witness. For now, though, Judge Rachel Krause will decide if Glanville will be kicked off the case. Before making any decision, she has ordered prosecutors to respond to the motions to recuse Glanville by 5 p.m. this evening, a few minutes ago. So we are still awaiting their response, but Young Thug's attorney has filed a separate motion saying he doesn't want Judge Krause to be the person to decide if Judge Glanville is removed, and he wants two top prosecutors removed from the case over alleged misconduct. Well, now trial attorneys are weighing in on this new motion.
Now we're looking at removing the two prosecutors who have been trying this case since its inception and actually making them be witnesses to be called onto the stand. This is anything but normal. You couldn't write this in a movie if you tried to.
And Young Thug's lead attorney also asking for his client to be released from custody as of right now. Again, that response from the state on those recusal motions was supposed to be in by 5 o'clock today. We're still waiting for that to be uploaded, of course, and filed. And when it is, we'll be sure to share those both on air and online. We're live in downtown Atlanta. Rachel Aragon, Atlanta News First.